I think we're at one of these moments in history, a lot like when gunpowder came along, or the steam engine, or the advent of the airplane, where a new technology or a group of technologies is coming in and sort of resetting the table. What's different about this wave of technologies is that they have much lower barriers to entry. So it's not the story of the Manhattan Project and only the United States had the resources and expertise to bring together this nationwide program. You know, in artificial intelligence, the players range from multiple different nations, the US, China, you name it, but also corporations, you know, the Googles, the Baidus, universities, they're all out there working on that technology. Cyber conflict, hacking, it seems really confusing. But at the end of the day, I'm going to argue that it's relatively simple. It all turns on what you can do with information. You can observe information. So we are seeing now with the rise of social media, putting more and more online around us, whether it's posting tweets about the high school party to posting tweets about the firefight in Syria that we just observed. From this, there are arguably no more secrets. Every kind of act of violence, politics, someone is out there reporting it, telling their story in some form or shape. Another thing you can do with information, steal it. So the difference now is scale. It's not James Bond going in and stealing one file. It's the hack of the OPM, you know, China stealing over 20 million classified background files. Another thing you can do with information, block it. It's what everything from criminals have done to banks, to Russia did to Ukraine. They block the flow of information, and that has a paralyzing effect on the target. Again, whether it's a bank, people can't do business with it if information's not coming in or out, or if it's a nation at war. There's a final thing that you can do with information that we haven't seen a lot of, but it's arguably the future of cyber conflict and maybe the most consequential, and that's to change information. In this case, the illustration would be Stuxnet, the very first cyber weapon. So Stuxnet was software developed by the United States and Israel, allegedly, to sabotage Iranian nuclear research. We didn't want to steal it. We know how to build atomic bombs. It instead gets inside their systems and changes the settings. Now I'm taking control of the computer and using it to cause physical change in the world. But at the end of the day, these all just go back to what you can do with information. What we're seeing is a wide range of activities that are actually somewhat familiar to people who lived through the Cold War. They're just now digitized, right? So the Cold War was, at least between the United States and the Soviet Union, not direct conflict in terms of troops actually fighting each other on the battlefield, but there were all sorts of proxy operations against each other. Vietnam, Afghanistan, there was economic competition, there were influence operations, there was espionage to steal secrets, to sabotage, this sort of going back and forth. We're seeing a lot of that now just in cyber means. So I guess what I'm getting at is you have a classic terminology of war in terms of politics and violence combined. We haven't seen the direct cyber version of that yet. We haven't seen people directly killed by a cyber activity. It will come, but we haven't yet seen it. But we have seen cyber conflict writ large.